Learn English through stories D4. Adapted and modified by Kulwant Singh Sandhu. Contents: 1. Aladdin and the Wonderful Lamp. 2. Status of Women in India. 3. Red Deer Hangle. 4. Grammar page, present continuous and simple. 2. 1. Aladdin and the Wonderful Lamp. In one of the large and rich cities of China, there once lived a tailor named Mustafa. He was very poor. He could hardly, by his daily labor, maintain himself and his family, which consisted only of his wife and a son. His son, who was called Aladdin, was a very careless and idle fellow. He was disobedient to his father and mother, and would go out early in the morning and stay out all day, playing in the streets and public places with idle children of his own age. When he was old enough to learn a trade, his father took him into his own shop and taught him how to use his needle, but all his father's endeavors to keep him to his work were vain, for no sooner was his back turned than the boy was gone for that day. Mustafa scolded him, but Aladdin was incurable, and his father, to his great grief, was forced to abandon him to his idleness. He was so much troubled about him that he fell sick and died in a few months. One day, a rich stranger came to their house looking for Aladdin. "I am a merchant," he told Aladdin's mother. "I've come all the way from Arabia. I want to take your boy with me for a little work, but I will pay him so much that you will not be poor anymore." Aladdin's mother soon agreed because they really needed the money. However, she did not know that the Arabian who said he was a merchant was actually a magician. The next day, Aladdin packed his things and left with the merchant. They traveled for many hours, after which the merchant stopped. Aladdin was surprised, as it was a lonely spot and there was nothing or no one anywhere. The merchant took out some colored powder from his pocket. Then he threw it at the ground, and the next moment there was smoke all around. As the smoke cleared away, Aladdin saw a big opening in the ground like a cave. The merchant asked Aladdin to go inside the cave. "You will see lots of gold inside, more than you will ever see in your life. Take as much as you want. Inside the cave, you will also see an old lamp. Just get it out for me." Aladdin became suspicious, but he entered the cave. Inside, he saw the cave was filled with gold. He filled up his pockets with gold and stuffed in as much treasure as he could. When he could take no more gold, he looked for the lamp and found it. It was old and dirty. He took the lamp and called out to the merchant to help him out. "Give me the lamp first," the merchant said. Aladdin was afraid that if he gave the lamp to the merchant, he would leave him there. So he said, "Please pull me out first." The merchant got angry and took out some more powder from his pocket. He threw it at the cave, and the opening of the cave became shut with a huge rock. Aladdin was scared. He waited inside and shouted, hoping that someone would come and help. But many hours passed and no one came. As Aladdin was sitting alone, he started cleaning the lamp. Suddenly, a strange fog filled up the room and a voice said, "My master, I am the genie of this lamp. What is your wish?" It was a huge man who looked very strange, and Aladdin was afraid of him. But the genie assured him that he would do as Aladdin asked him. "Take me to my home," he said. The next instant, Aladdin was home and with his mother. They hugged each other, and Aladdin told her all about his adventure. Aladdin called the genie again, and he appeared, but now they were not afraid of him. He asked the genie for a palace, and soon they were living inside a beautiful palace, instead of the old hut where Aladdin had lived all his life. As people got to know about the rich Aladdin, he became more famous. His mother carried a big basket full of diamonds, which allowed her to enter Sultan's palace to get his daughter's hand. With the help of genie, they were able to establish themselves as wealthy and were able to fulfill the demands of the Sultan. He was now married to the princess, the daughter of the Sultan, and they were very happy. The magician too heard all about Aladdin. He came to Aladdin's palace pretending to be an old man who exchanged old lamps and gave new ones. Aladdin had not told the princess about the mystic lamp. She got it to give the magician. As soon as he saw the lamp, he recognized it and, grabbing it, ran away. He summoned the genie and he was now the new master. "Take me far away from this palace to the desert," he said. When Aladdin returned home, he could not find his palace or his princess and mother. He was very worried, but then realized it must be the work of the evil magician who wanted to take revenge. Aladdin thought hard and remembered that he had a ring that the magician had given him and that it could still help him. He rubbed the ring and another genie appeared. "Take me to wherever my princess is," he commanded the genie. The next moment Aladdin found himself in the desert in his palace. His princess was there and he was glad to see she was safe. The evil sorcerer was also there, and the magic lamp was placed on a table next to the magician. Before the magician could realize what was going on, Aladdin quickly jumped and grabbed the lamp. He quickly rubbed the lamp and soon the genie appeared. "Whatever you wish for my master," said the genie, and the evil magician disappeared, never to return again. The genie helped transport Aladdin back to where his palace was. There, Aladdin lived happily with his princess wife and his mother. The genie was also there along with Aladdin and his family, and they lived happily ever after. Genie. A genie is a spirit which appears and disappears by magic and obeys the person who controls it. 2. Status of women in India. Introduction. Women have been an integral part of India's culture and society since ancient times. However, the status of women in India has been a topic of debate and concern for many years. Despite the progress made in recent years, there are still many challenges that women in India face today. Progress and achievements. In recent years, there have been many positive developments in India's efforts to empower women. The government has implemented several programs and policies aimed at improving women's health, education, and economic opportunities. There has been a significant increase in the number of women participating in the workforce, and women have achieved high positions in various fields, including politics, business, and entertainment. Challenges and struggles. Despite these achievements, women in India still face significant challenges. Gender discrimination, violence against women, and unequal pay continue to be major issues. Female feticide and infanticide, particularly in rural areas, remain a significant concern. Women's safety and security are also a significant issue, with many incidents of sexual harassment and assault reported each year. Legal rights for women in India. Women in India have been granted various legal rights over the years to promote gender equality and protect their interests. Here are some of the most important legal rights that women in India have. Right to equality. Article 14 of the Indian Constitution guarantees the right to equality to all citizens, regardless of their gender. Right to education. The Right of Children to Free and Compulsory Education Act, 2009, makes it mandatory for all children, including girls, between the ages of 6 and 14 to receive education. Right to work. The Equal Remuneration Act of 1976 ensures that men and women receive equal pay for the same work. Right against sexual harassment. The Sexual Harassment of Women at Workplace Prevention, Prohibition, and Redressal Act, 2013, provides a framework for addressing complaints of sexual harassment in the workplace. Right to property. The Hindu Succession Act of 1956 was amended in 2005 to give equal inheritance rights to daughters in Hindu families. Right to marriage and divorce. The Hindu Marriage Act of 1955 gives women the right to seek divorce on various grounds, including cruelty and adultery. Right to health. The Maternity Benefit Act of 1961 provides women with paid maternity leave and other benefits during pregnancy and childbirth. Right against domestic violence. The Protection of Women from Domestic Violence Act of 2005 provides legal protection to women from physical, emotional, and verbal abuse by their spouses or relatives. Overall, while women in India have come a long way in terms of legal rights, there is still a lot of work to be done to ensure full gender equality and protection from discrimination and violence. The way forward. To address these challenges and improve the status of women in India, there needs to be a concerted effort from all sectors of society. The government needs to continue to implement policies that promote women's health, education, and economic empowerment. There needs to be a greater focus on gender sensitization and education at all levels of society. The media also has a role to play in promoting positive messages about women and combating gender stereotypes. Conclusion. In conclusion, the status of women in India has improved significantly in recent years, but there is still a long way to go. It is essential to recognize the achievements made so far and continue to work towards a more equitable and just society for women. By addressing the challenges that women in India face and promoting gender equality, we can ensure that women can fully participate in all aspects of life and contribute to the development of the country. 3. Red deer, Hangal. For long-term conservation of the critically endangered red deer or Hangal in Kashmir, it is necessary to take up conservation efforts beyond protected areas, a new study has suggested. The state of Jammu and Kashmir has only about 200 Hangals in the wild. Systematic efforts are underway to conserve them at Dachigam National Park on the outskirts of Srinagar. However, continuous inbreeding and geographic isolation have reduced their genetic diversity, and any natural calamity or disease outbreak can cause local extinction of this species, the study published in Current Science has warned. Known for its giant antlers bearing 11 to 16 points, Hangal is the state animal of Jammu and Kashmir. Globally, red deer is one of the most widespread deer species in the world. Yet several red deer species have gone locally extinct or are severely threatened. The Kashmir red deer is the only surviving subspecies of red deer in the Indian subcontinent. It has been classified as critically endangered by the International Union for Conservation of Nature, IUCN. A team of scientists from the Wildlife Institute of India, Wildlife Trust of India, and Department of Wildlife Protection, under the state government, came together and carried out a preliminary survey during 2008 to 2012 in 33 sites in different valleys to assess the possibility of expanding the area for conservation for the deer. The study sought to figure out whether there were subpopulations of the animals outside the national park, and if there were any, whether the area where they were found was suitable for recolonization, and whether they could be interconnected with the national park. Researchers used open-source software, Biomapper, coupled with remote sensing data extracted using ArcGIS for evaluating habitat suitability. Both direct and indirect sighting data along natural trails and paths were used to carry out habitat suitability modeling. The scientists found that 3 areas, measuring about 935.46 sq km around the Dachigam National Park, have greater potential for supporting the Hangal population. Vocabulary. 1. Conservation, preservation, the protection of plants and animals, natural areas, and interesting and important structures and buildings, especially from the damaging effects of human activity. 2. Isolation, separation. 3. Diversity, variety. 4. Extinction, disappearance. 5. Giant, huge. 6. Figure out, estimate. 7. Coupled, connected. 8. Remote, distance. 9. Biomapper, a device to find species. 4. Grammar page.